Am I the judge? Me? No. Did I write prophecies? Did I write the Bible? Am I the one that makes the wind and waves come? No. So I'm just going to tell you what this dream was. And everyone has to work out for themselves what it means. It was like an old mental asylum, like the old Victoria Hospital, like dirty concentration campy, big iron gates inside the building, like lifts were all rattly, and it was very hospital-y looking, and refugee camp looking at the same time, and concentration camp looking at the same time, and there was all these different floors, and I was there as a spectator. Inside myself, I knew I could walk out at any time, and even the people who were working there, I think were thinking she doesn't have to be here, but so they weren't really bothered with me at all. Anyway, I was walking somewhere, and there was a doctor, two kind of doctor, very professional looking people, like were obviously working in the place, and I got lost at one point, and I asked one of the guys something, where's such and such, and he left his friend to show me, and his friend was raging, and he's like, oh, I have to take her, and as he was walking me there, I said to him, can't you get me out of here? And he said, he gave me a funny look, and he said, as if, I didn't know you were stuck here, like you look like you work here. And he said, and then he thought she must be a patient, so he said, well, okay, we'll have to try and arrange it. And so if I do want you, I'll take you, right? And I knew my sister was in this asylum as well, and I was saying to my sister, if you don't shut up, you're going to end up in trouble. I don't know why, I just kept saying to her, it's an experience, it's just an experience, but if you don't shut up, you're going to end up in trouble, something like that. And she wouldn't, because she couldn't. I was like, I don't know, maybe she was being tortured or something. And I was rushing about trying to find something for her. I don't know what it was, looking for something for her. And she was right up the top, and as I was trying to get to her, I was getting pulled in with these refugees who were little girls, and they were like just so cute and dead upset. And there was another young girl who I know from my genuinely from my past. And I said to her, somehow, I mean, it's all muddled up because I don't remember what part came first or second, but it's all in the same building. So at one point I was in the building with this girl who I knew from my past, and I had a wee godly experience with this wee girl. Anyway, we had stayed in one part of the asylum, whatever you want to call it, and something happened during the night with lights, and I went round the room, the apartment we were in, and it was like 3 bathrooms in it. It wasn't well kept, but it's a big apartment, like nice old part of the building. And I went to, and her room was lovely, and I was sleeping on one side, she was sleeping on the other. And very early in the morning, some people came and took her, like social workers. In fact, it was my ex-husband's sister, for some reason, Rani, that took her. And she was sitting there, she was there with 2 social workers, and they were taking her away. And I know with social workers you can't do anything, like if you attack them the police will come and all that shit. So I just took hold of my ex-husband's sister's face, and I said, do you know who your brother is? And I said, he's an angel, he's not a human. And I squeezed her face, and she started crying, and I was squeezing her face to make her look in my eyes and say, do you know what you're doing right now, taking this wee girl off me? She's protected here. Where are you going to take her? What are you doing? This is my only way of saying let her go. And the two social workers, because they saw her crying so much, she didn't just cry, she just crumpled into the floor. And because of that, they two social workers were scared as well. And then, for some reason, I took the wee girl back and we were looking at the bed we'd been sleeping in. And I don't know why, but I kept saying, did we sleep in that bed? Did we really sleep in that bed? And every time I tried to put a light on, it was like all the electricity was coming out the walls, you know, the plug and everything, all hanging out the walls. Anyway, when I got to my sister, she was on the top level, but after like this time had passed and I got back to her, she was lying in her bed in a white sheet, all nice, and she was just singing Hallelujah in the most beautiful singing voice, but it sounded like my eldest daughter's voice. Well, not my daughter. It sounded like her voice, and just singing Hallelujah, and I felt so happy because I thought, right, she's shut up now and she can just relax. And I was so happy, and I thought, right, I need to get her some food. I went down to the food place, and it was like big hefty food, like proper, you know, chips and fritters and sausage and egg and every kind of food you could imagine, all that heavy food as if for a builder or something. And there was a wee depressed person sitting next to me, and I could hear what he was thinking. He was thinking, somebody will come and visit me today. And because the atmosphere was so dire, it was so dire, you know, it was like his only hope, and I don't think he could get out of it, the situation, the place, because he was mentally insane or something. Anyway, the side where all the food was there, I was like, I don't want to give her all this heavy food. So I went round the other side, and a woman immediately looked at me and said, I was looking at her as if, what's here? And it was all these, the other side of the canteen was so beautiful cornettos, and all displayed in these beautiful cabinets, like the green cornetto, the blue cornetto, and a very expensive display. It was like Costco, Costa Coffee kind of thing, compared to the other side. It was so asylum. And I thought, this must be where the visitors come, they don't see the other side. So I was standing there trying to get someone's attention, and the woman's looking at me as if, why are you not working? You're supposed to be manning the... She thought I was turning up for work because there was no one manning the cornetto section. And I was like, why does everybody think I work here? That's what I was saying. I don't work here. But inside myself, I knew I was only visiting the place. But I knew I'd also been put there. But I also knew I could walk out at any time. And I was just there watching, and I was interested to see what was going on. Because that's what happens when you've been brought up in a kingdom hall for 32 years. Anything seems interesting. Right, so anyway, these wee refugee girls, they were so, I can't explain it, they were so skinny and wretched, just pure wretched. And something had been happening. Oh yeah, they were saying my family are trying to take drugs, or smuggling drugs into this place today, and we're scared. And there's the wee children were telling me, and I said, well, if you're going to be walking about scared, you're going to give your family away, so just act normally. And then as they were walking away, some social workers came and put their arms around them. I heard them saying, so you've to act normally. What's this drug team that's coming in like this, as if they've been lip reading us from a distance. And I thought, well, that's them all fucked now, innit? I don't know if they meant drugs as in coke or medicine drugs. I don't know what they meant, or if that's even accurate, but it was something like that. Anyway, this place was so weird. And as I woke up after the dream, I was thinking, it's just like fucking the system, the way the system is right now. You know, it's just disgusting. And I would get thinking about those cornettos and thinking, why cornettos? I thought, there's nothing cheaper on the market right now than cornettos. You know, I don't trust those fucking cornettos. I think there's something in them. right? Because usually when things are displayed in this system in the most glorious way, it means they're the most deadly. Like these computer games. You know, kids watch them and then go and spray people in supermarkets with bullets. You know, so the more glittery it is, the more attractive it is, the more fucking poison there is in it. Anyway, that's a dream. And then on my way out, I was leaving the place. And, cause it was like my experience in that place was over now. And I was leaving, and I didn't want to leave for some reason, because I'm interested in things, right? A bit nosy, I think that's the Pakistani in me. I was interested as well, like, all these different things going on. It was like a prison, you know, but an interesting prison, because there was all different types of people in it. And on the way out, it was, you know, that horrible tiling you get in asylums, all white and black and cracked in the middle, like the Victoria Infirmary. And on the way out, there was some words on a placard, and it said, "Here lies Judah." And it said something else, like a few letters. I don't know if it wasn't these letters, but it was like Meeny Tekel Parson. So it was like small letters, VI something NXO, you know, something I don't know. But it just said, "Here lies Judah," like that. And that was it. So take from that dream what you want. But I think the moral of the story is, I don't have to be here if I don't want to be here.